Hello folks, and welcome to Retro Radio, your only real audio classic arcade game emulation weekly update. I'm Shane R. Monroe of InsertCoin, and welcome to the program. Welcome to the first of many weekly broadcasts designed to bring you the hottest classic arcade game emulation news on the internet. As this broadcast grows, we'll include trivia and weekly video game profiles. In the coming weeks, expect us to utilize Real Technologies G2 technologies to bring you the streaming video and audio coverage of the retro gaming scene. First, let's update with my site, InsertCoin. For those of you who may not be familiar with InsertCoin, it's the premier site for the newbie retro gamer, featuring familiar interactive wizards for downloading and installing emulators, the critically acclaimed MAME FAQ, or Frequently Asked Questions, the latest ROM images and samples for your favorite retro emulators, including MAME and the forthcoming Retrocade, and of course the emulators, front ends, and support files with easy-to-navigate links. InsertCoin also offers you the latest dirt and cool news about MAME and Retrocade. Featuring the latest in Flash 3 technology, InsertCoin is a fast-loading, one-stop shop for your emulation needs. Let's update with InsertCoin news. The critically acclaimed MAME FAQ has now moved into version 1.5, offering some minor spelling and grammatical fixes, plus a couple of newly answered questions and updates to existing questions. Currently, the FAQ is available in English and Spanish, with several more translations in the works. For those of you who are using Arcade at home for your DOS-based MAME front-end needs, you may have discovered that it isn't exactly up to the challenge of the latest RC1 release of MAME. Tim must have dropped me from his mailing list because I wasn't aware of an RC1 patch to update your Arcade at Home. But there is, and you can find it at the official Arcade at Home site, www.arcadeathome.com, or of course at InsertCoin, where at arcadeathome.com is the official Windows front end for MAME. Okay, you want to hear the news about Retrocade. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with Retrocade, it's essentially the player's emulator. Why? Because it's fast. Oh, baby, it's fast. And don't forget the high-style, terribly cool built-in front end with all the trimmings. The entire project just drips with style and finesse, and it's been in development over a year. It currently supports 96 games, including the kick-ass Cinematronics games like Star Castle and Armor Attack. What separates an emulator like MAME from Retrocade is that Retrocade has been written from the bottom up to be a user product. The style and panache looks like it belongs burned on a commercial CD and not found on a rogue website on the internet. While it is DOS-based at this time, a Windows and Macintosh version are in the works. The product is still in private beta, and it's currently at version 9. If you want more information about this kick-ass emulator, check out www.retrocade.com, or stay tuned to this broadcast in coming weeks for more news. Bad news on the MAME front. More proms. That's right, folks. Expect another barrage of prom inclusions coming to a future MAME release. Once again, site ops will be forced to alter dozens of ROMs to make them compatible with MAME. Site ops, myself included, are less than happy with the drastic prom additions and ROM merges that have been recently happening. What the end user doesn't see is the dozens of man-hours on behalf of the site ops and their loyal followers, hacking, merging, and re-zipping the ROMs. Plus, of course, any HTML changes they have to make to their site as a result. To make matters worse, it seems the development team isn't releasing the pack of prom files to site ops to give them a head start in the inclusion. Which means when the MAME release does come about that forces the prom inclusions, everyone will be, once again, frantically searching for the perfect ROMs. Let's nip on over to davesclassics.com and see what's new over there. According to Dave's, there is a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle emulator, DTMNT, version 0.46 release that seems to fix a bug when it quits. We do have a request, actually more like an information. Russell Ashby and Dan Boris have decided that it'd be cool to create a kind of a FBQ, or frequently bitched questions, that could be submitted to Dan and the rest of the MAME team to answer. The ultimate aim being to build the answers to the questions in the MAME FAQ. He is asking for people to email him with their questions about what they really want answered directly from the MAME team. This can be about anything except bugs, etc. Additionally, Russell is looking for someone to help him out putting together an online database of emulation performances on various systems. Well, I thought that's what my MAME FAQ did, was answer all the frequently bitched questions that But, yeah, okay. Okay, well, it seems that MAME 32 has an RC1 unofficial release. You can pick that up over at davesclassics.com. I will be adding it to Insert Coin later on. Some news from the work in progress page of MAME. Seems Nicola has finally figured out the encryption for Sega's Future Spy and has gotten that game up and running. However, it does not have sound yet. And Dave's does have some snapshots for you. There was a Stargate ROM replacement, although I don't think that'll affect most of the MAME folks, or it'll just be the Retrocade beta tester people. Also, speaking of which, the Retrocade team is looking for schematics and ROMs for Arch Rivals and Pigskin. He has a partial set for Arch Rivals, and they do have it partially running in Retrocade. However, they need the schematics to figure out the tile graphic banking controllers and sprite palette section. He's also looking for ROMs for Bally Midway games, Power Driver, and, of course, Pigskin. This is not Sega's racing game Power Drift. If you can help them out, go over to their website, www.retrocade.com, and drop them some mail and let them know. There have been many questions about looking for a real-time chat area to discuss MAME and Retrocade. I'd like to point your attention to channel MAME on FNet. If you are on the IRCs now and you are on the FNet server group, please nip on over to channel MAME, that's M-A-M-E. Come on over and chat with us a spell. Most of the regulars in the MAME scene, including most of the side ops, myself included, and many of the developers actually do hang out there on a day-to-day basis, and you can pick up more information about MAME, maybe pose a couple of questions, although I would restrict your questions to those not answered in the MAME FAQ or in the readme.txt. We do tend to get a little hostile to those folks who would rather have us help them than to have them help themselves. Well, folks, I think that's going to do it for this edition of Retro Radio. Please tune in next week. We will be discussing more of the hottest, latest news on classic arcade game emulation. Until then, I'm Shane R. Monroe, and keep it retro.